Man, Judge been going off. I've been over here tripping with the judge. It's been so hilarious. I got to see this new one. He got one talking about he furious. Walk with me.
In this video, we've compiled the times Judge Mathis got furious. Without further ado, let's get started.
Devancia came to my home while I was sleeping. She was pouring lighter fluid onto my patio deck.
Did you know her?
It's my son's ex-girlfriend.
We started dating in November of last year, and we pretty much broken up in March of this year.
Eric Gibson and his mother, LaToya Mitchum, went to Judge Mathis to sue Eric's ex-girlfriend, Devancia Lewis. LaToya was accusing Devancia of attempting to burn down her house when she caught her pouring lighter fluid on her patio. When LaToya tried to stop the potential arson, she claimed that the unstable woman started screaming threats about killing her son and then damaged her property. After listening to the mother and son talk, the judge let Devancia tell her side of her and Eric's relationship and why she was appearing in the courtroom.
Physical, mental, emotional. We would get into altercation or every 2 weeks.
Anyone call the police?
4 or 5 times.
4 or 5 police reports or more than one?
No.
Devancia was throwing out allegations that Eric was abusive during their relationship. However, Eric clarified that while it was true that there were fights that happened between them, some of which needed police intervention, he was actually acting in self-defense.
All the time.
As Devancia was the one who would often get physical with
All
him.
the time.
As the former couple continued to talk back and forth about the violent incidents, Mathis asked some questions in an attempt to get a clearer story. This was when a surprising revelation came to light, which angered the judge.
And no one's been convicted of anything, domestic violence?
I actually went to jail for this incident.
Are you doing all this talking about you were battered and you went to jail?
The irony of Devancia accusing Eric of violence while being the one with the criminal record wasn't lost on Judge Mathis. LaToya was then given the chance to speak about the incident that was the reason for the lawsuit.
After she poured lighter fluid on my lawn and my house, I had my son run down the street. You'll see I have the pictures of that too, where I had my son to get her away from the house.
The evidence LaToya presented against Devancia was pretty damning. Eric added more information by revealing to the court the details of the altercation that he believed caused Devancia to lose control and try to burn down a house.
We got into a scuffle because I snatched her phone. She proceeded to attack me. And in that confrontation, I guess her phone got broke. She took out a knife and flattened the tires of the car.
Even though Devancia didn't stop trying to defend her actions, the full picture was becoming clear to the judge. He eventually made his verdict.
You sliced all of the tires, the windshields, paint, and bodywork. Your phone, he testified that it was you that broke the phone. I believe that you have out of control. I know you have pictures of a phone you broke. Judgment for the plaintiff, your claim is dismissed. Have a good day.
Met the defendants in April of 2013. Seemed like normal, upstanding citizens. Soon found out that wasn't the case. Traffic in and out of the house 24/7. While they were on the property, there was a 2-year-old that ingested some crystal meth.
When was that?
Landlord Michael Johnson appeared in the courtroom in order to state his case against former tenants Mary and Randall Dugan. He claimed that illegal activities regularly occurred at the property he rented out.
Why y'all going on Judge Mathis' plan?
The Dugans were then
Judge
given
ain't
their
gonna
turn
play
to
with
talk
y'all.
about the landlord's accusations.
The so-called meth found in our house, like I said, it was a tenant in our home, and her friend's daughter ingested a Valium.
Mary refuted everything that Michael was saying they did while renting from him. The Dugans were then asked to explain their complaints about Michael's neglect as a landlord.
The type of landlord he was when he was involved, irresponsible, not willing to do maintenance or repairs to things when they came up. We ended up paying out of pocket.
The Dugans detailed various incidents where they didn't receive any help from their landlord, such as problems with the water heater and a mice infestation. Ugh. Mathis then questioned Michael about an odd fact about the couple's time.
Come on, man, I'm eating. I didn't even know they were gonna go there. I ain't thinking about no landlord. If it's mice in my house, I'm gone. I'm out of there. Sometimes you might can't be though. So now I'm thinking about the landlord. That landlord.
I'm renting from it.
Why wasn't your ex or you concerned about your money? I've never Heard of a landlord say they could stay for 2 years when they owe an entire month.
After pointing out the inconsistency in Michael's claims, Judge Mathis shifted his attention to the Dugans. He joked around a bit, but Randall was having none of it and was starting to lose his temper.
Just have sir. You're in the wrong place if you didn't want to come here and have a little fun.
I have no problem with fun.
I just said I'm kidding. See, I'm not saying anything about your children, sir.
Your Honor.
It's not a good idea to bring up your children's death in defense to being sued.
The judge warned Randall to be careful about what he was saying and how he was saying it, but he didn't stop. This eventually got on Mathis's nerves, and he brought the case to a sudden end.
Day after my daughter was killed, I had to pay for the, excuse my French, the hot water heater. He did nothing.
What does that have to do with your daughter?
No,
but why are you mentioning that? What does that have to do with today's case?
I had to deal with his.
You've cursed too many times. Her claim is dismissed. Yours. Have a good.
My son, Dominic Rogers, who was bullied by Clarice's son. He hit my son, knocked his tooth out, caused him to miss 7 days of school, also caused him to have a concussion.
Danielle McDonald was suing Clarice Ross for the suffering her son went through after allegedly being bullied by the defendant's son. She claimed the confrontation that caused her son to be brought to the hospital was only the latest in a series of violent incidents. Clarice's reaction to what Danielle was saying irked Judge Mathis.
No one told you he was
Nobody ever told me.
This is the first time? Don't interrupt me like you over there laughing while she's describing her son got a concussion. And now that I want to ask about it, you want to interrupt me.
The judge made Clarice feel his rage after her inappropriate
I can't do nothing with the judge. Why they be playing with the judge?
Reaction to Danielle's statements. Mathis asked Clarice for some further clarification. Her answer only annoyed him even further.
Did you ever hear that her son had a concussion?
When I got the police report back in
February. Yet you come in here laughing at your son, giving him a concussion. It's funny to you.
Clarice tried to explain that the reason she was laughing was because she found Danielle's claims of her son's innocence to be ridiculous. She said that the boy provoked her son into a physical altercation. Clarice also revealed that she tried to fix things with Danielle, but only received attitude in return.
I called her, and the attitude I got was just awful. Hello, Miss McDonald. This is Clarice. I apologize about what happened to your son. She said, ain't no way we about to work this out. I just see you in court.
Clarice continued, talking about how Danielle's son was actually the aggressor in the incident, but the judge was having none of the absurd accusation.
Near proceeded to hit my son in here with some books. My son then defended himself.
Stand up, young man. Stand up, young man. And you tell me he attacks him.
Clarice kept trying to make excuses and explain that her son was innocent.
Attacks him.
That was hilarious.
With some books.
The crowd even knew it.
My son then defended himself.
Stand up, young man. Stand up, young man. And you tell me he attacks.
Got him.
Clarice kept trying to make excuses and explain that her son was innocent, but Mathis in the incident. But the judge was having none of the absurd accusations.
That was priceless. We got to play that again.
To hit my son in here with some books. My son then defended himself.
Stand up, young man. Stand up, young man. And you tell me he attacks him.
Clarice kept trying to make excuses and explain that her son was innocent, but Mathis eventually got tired of listening to her. He quickly made a verdict and ended the proceedings.
Rescheduled the mediation. Again, she didn't call, didn't show.
You don't show up for mediation, they dismiss the person's claim who was not there. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff.
So I met Romeo Griffin last September. He was like the perfect gentleman. He said he had businesses, wanted me to be a business partner, said he had contracts that was worth millions.
Miore Holloman came into Judge Mathis's court with the intention of suing her.
We're gonna say it when we're trying to get that thing, girl. Would you know that?
Ex-boyfriend, Romeo Griffin.
She just gave it up to him.
As part of her case, she claimed that while they were together, he often got violent with her and once even put a gun to her head. She said that at first, Romeo seemed like the perfect gentleman, but she got to know the worst parts of his personality during the relationship. It got so bad that she was forced to get a restraining order against him. Eventually, Romeo got the opportunity to make his testimony in response to Miore's accusations.
We started dating. Everything was going pretty well at first. Stuff just wouldn't start adding up. So she would get certain phone calls, and she wouldn't answer certain calls or text messages.
Romeo believed that Miore had been cheating on him during their relationship. He told the judge about specific events where he found her behavior to be suspicious. Miore pointed out that he had left out certain details in his story, like how he assaulted her when he confronted her about the alleged cheating. Mathis then refocused the discussion to the unpaid credit card bills, which were the reason for Miore's lawsuit against Romeo.
How much do you think she charged?
I'm not sure, Your Honor.
So it could have been $5. How do you
credit
know?
card. I have my own debit card.
You're not sure. Give me an estimate.
Because you're lying.
Right. It appears he is. What's your defense against paying this?
My defense?
Yeah.
Well,
she's suing you for credit card charges.
Romeo defended himself, saying that while he did use the credit card in question, he wasn't the one who spent the nearly $5,000 bill on the card. Romeo was supposedly a successful businessman, so the judge found it suspicious that he needed to rely on his ex-girlfriend for money. When he couldn't give any answers to what happened to his wealth and why he used Miore's credit card, Judge Mathis came to a conclusion.
A month later, all your money was gone?
No, sir.
All right, so why did you have to use her credit card?
But I was actually...
I understand. You said she was your support. So that means you were broke. You were a businessman. You a scrub and a woman beater. I believe her.
As a final nail in the coffin, Miore presented video evidence of a beating Romeo gave her. Though Romeo tried to explain his side of what was happening in the video, Mathis didn't entertain him as the judge had heard and seen enough.
And that's him picking me up, picking me outside, choking me again.
No, I wasn't. Wow. And you're not going to do that when they lock you up.
Sir, I did not.
Yeah, they're going to be carrying you. And get the hell out of my court. Your claim is dismissed and yours is granted.
Things was fine, we was good, and then things started to get rocky, and bills was piling up and stuff like that. And she started accusing me of like cheating to a point I got fed up to where I was just like, okay, well, we both decided to just go our separate ways.
Dante Rising entered the courtroom to sue his ex-fiancée, Melba Jackson. He told the court about how things started to go sour during their relationship. He claimed that she owed him thousands of dollars in unpaid bills and fees that had accumulated during a rough patch he experienced while they were together. After Dante's statement, Melba was given the opportunity to tell her side of the story.
2 weeks before the wedding, I went on our wedding registry that I did. It was at least over 9 women posted on that website telling me he's a scam artist.
Melba recounted how Dante enticed her to get into a relationship with him and eventually got engaged. He led her to believe that he was rich and would provide her the...
Can't get mad at him for being a peanut judge. I don't know. That's just a P movement. Some might say it's a womanizer, but where I come from, they call that big Billy.
Dream life she always wanted. However, things started to get weird and suspicious as their wedding approached. Based on Melba's testimony, it was looking like Dante was a scam artist that took advantage of women. Mathis tried to give Dante a chance to explain himself, but his sketchy answers only led to the judge making
Dante, you too?
I was in the hospital.
What did that do to your money?
Took a lot because she was in the hospital. She was dying.
Don't play the my mama dead game.
Oh, what y'all doing in there with the judge? Y'all know you ain't having no now.
Are you really going too far with your con? Yeah, right. You're lying on your mama. That's what I believe.
Melba presented evidence to the court, which were the statements of various women who claimed that Dante...
How you sue somebody? Lack of evidence. They in there countersuing abundance of evidence, and you looking like a fool. You took them to court.
They had conned them out of their money in the past. Judge Mathis had seen enough after reading all of these to the court. He made his verdict and brought an end to the case.
Another one with your picture on it. This is a scam artist and fraud. Watch out! And I'm not gonna waste my time with this soft con you got. You're the worst kind of con I know. Your claim is dismissed. Yours is granted for perjury. Have a good day.
The judge isn't the only one who loses his cool in the court.
Man, Judge Mathis don't be playing. He done purged on him. It's over. Peace out.